First contact and revelation. The blue emergency lights pulsed throughout the exploration vessel horizon as Captain Maya Chen strode onto the bridge, her expression carefully neutral despite the rapid beating of her heart. Her crew of 23 maintained their stations with practiced efficiency, though she could sense their tension. "Report," she ordered, sliding into the command chair. Lieutenant Rodriguez gestured to the main view screen where a massive vessel had appeared seemingly from nowhere. "Unknown ship, Captain. Approximately 4 kilometers in length. It just appeared. No warp signature, no approach vector." The alien vessel gleamed like burnished copper in the starlight, its hull decorated with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and move as they watched. No visible weapons or propulsion systems were apparent, which made Maya more uneasy, not less. "Open all communication channels, standard greeting protocols," she commanded, "and maintain defense readiness." For 10 minutes, Earth's sophisticated translation systems broadcast greetings in mathematics, light patterns, radio frequencies, and every human language. The alien vessel remained silent and motionless. Then suddenly, the bridge screens flickered, and a voice emerged, melodic and serene, yet somehow emanating from everywhere at once. "Vessel of Earth, we acknowledge your presence. Please stand by for dimensional transition." Before Maya could respond, a shimmering field enveloped the horizon. The stars outside the viewports stretched and blurred. When they solidified again, the horizon was somewhere else entirely. A vast space station curved before them, its architecture defying human engineering principles. It appeared to be constructed of living crystal and flowing metal, with thousands of different vessels docked along its impossibly intricate surface. "Dimensional displacement," murmured Science Officer Park in awe. "They didn't move through space. They moved space itself." The voice returned, now accompanied by a holographic figure that materialized on the bridge. A tall, slender being with iridescent skin and eyes that contained swirling galaxies. "I am Envoy Talix of the Galactic Assembly. Welcome, humans. We have been monitoring your species for some time." Maya stepped forward. "I am Captain Maya Chen of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon. We come in peace and friendship." A ripple seemed to pass through the envoy's form, something like amusement or perhaps concern. "Yes, that is what your people always say, Captain. Yet your history suggests otherwise." The hologram gestured, and suddenly the bridge was filled with images from human history. Armies clashing, weapons firing, cities burning, warfare throughout the ages, from ancient battles to modern conflicts. "Your species is unique among all known intelligences, Captain Chen. You are the only spacefaring civilization that continued to develop organized warfare after achieving sentience." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. Every species must have had conflicts in their evolution. Conflicts, yes. Individual violence, yes. But systematic, organized warfare. Military strategy. The deliberate development of increasingly efficient ways to destroy members of your own species. No, Captain. This is uniquely human. The images shifted, showing Earth's military installations, training exercises, defense systems. Your species devoted more resources to developing weapons than to medicine, environmental protection, and space exploration combined until very recently. This is why humans have been classified as a restricted species by the Assembly. Maya's second-in-command, Commander Jackson, stepped forward. "Restricted? What does that mean exactly?" The envoy's expression was unreadable. "It means that while we welcome diplomatic exchange, humanity cannot be permitted to bring its warfare capabilities into the wider galaxy. The Galactic Assembly has strict prohibitions against the spread of organized combat methodologies." Maya felt indignation rising. "With respect, Envoy Talix, humans haven't engaged in global warfare for over a century. We developed these capabilities for defense." "Against whom?" Talix interrupted gently. "You were the only threat to yourselves." The bridge fell silent as the crew absorbed this perspective. However, Talix continued, We recognize that your warlike tendencies have produced certain unexpected benefits. Your species possesses remarkable adaptability, resourcefulness under pressure, and tactical thinking that is quite extraordinary. New images appeared: human disaster response teams, emergency medical innovations, spacecraft performing rescue operations. Your capacity to function under threat, to improvise solutions, to persist despite overwhelming odds. These qualities are valuable. They are also, paradoxically, products of your martial history. Maya seized on this opening. Then perhaps what you see as a liability, we might reframe as an asset. Talex's galactic eyes studied her thoughtfully. That is why you are here, Captain Chen. The Assembly wishes to observe human problem-solving capabilities directly. The hologram gestured again, and a three-dimensional star chart materialized between them. We are currently facing a situation in the Cygnus Reach that has confounded our finest minds. A series of spatial anomalies is threatening several inhabited systems. Our conventional approaches have failed to resolve it. Maya examined the data, her trained mind already analyzing patterns. And you want our help, the help of a restricted species. We wish to test a hypothesis, Telex replied carefully. That human thinking, shaped by millennia of conflict, might approach problems differently than species evolved without such pressures. Commander Jackson leaned closer to Maya. This could be an opportunity, Captain. A chance to demonstrate our worth to the Assembly. Maya nodded slowly. What exactly would this test involve? Your vessel will be transported to the Cygnus Reach. You will have 72 Earth hours to address the anomaly situation. Assembly observers will monitor your methods and decisions. And if we succeed, Talex's form shimmered. Then the Assembly will reconsider humanity's classification and the restrictions placed upon your species. And if we fail, then the current prohibitions against human expansion will remain in place indefinitely. Maya looked around at her crew, seeing determination in their eyes. Earth had been exploring space for nearly 2 centuries, yet apparently they'd been allowed to do so only under distant supervision, their movements subtly constrained within a cosmic quarantine they hadn't even known existed. We accept your challenge, Envoy Telex, Maya declared. We'll show you that the same qualities that made us formidable warriors also make us valuable allies. Telex inclined his head. We shall see, Captain Chen. Prepare your crew. The dimensional transition to Cygnus Reach begins in 1 hour. As the hologram faded, Maya turned to her officers, her mind already racing with possibilities. It seems we're about to represent all of humanity in a test we can't afford to fail. Let's get to work. Little did they know that the true nature of the test, and the real reason behind the ban on human warfare, was far more complex than Envoy Telex had revealed. The human advantage and resolution. The Cygnus Reach was beautiful and terrifying in equal measure. As the horizon emerged from dimensional transition, Maya and her crew were greeted by a breathtaking vista of swirling nebula and densely packed star systems. But interspersed throughout the region were the anomalies, tears in the fabric of space-time that pulsed with impossible energies and distorted reality around them. Scanning now, Captain, reported Science Officer Park. The anomalies appear to be expanding at a rate of approximately 3% per day. At this rate, they'll consume the inhabited systems within weeks. Maya studied the holographic display Telex had provided before departure. It showed 7 populated worlds in the path of the expanding anomalies, with a combined population of over 12 billion sentients from various species. Have the Assembly scientists determined the cause? She asked. According to these data packets, they believe it's the result of experimental propulsion technology developed by a species called the Vorn. The technology created unforeseen tears in subspace that are now cascading. Commander Jackson frowned. So they created a weapon. Not intentionally, Maya corrected, but the effect is the same, and their conventional approaches to sealing the rifts have failed. For the next several hours, Maya's crew analyzed the situation from every angle. The assembly had attempted to seal the rifts using energy harmonization and gravitational stabilizers, both logical, technically sophisticated solutions that should have worked. Yet the anomalies continued to grow. Maya paced the bridge, her mind working in ways that millennia of human conflict had shaped, looking for weaknesses, considering tactical advantages, asking not just how to fix the problem but how to defeat it. "We're thinking about this wrong," she said suddenly. "We're trying to repair the tiers directly, just like the assembly did." "Isn't that the logical approach?" asked Lieutenant Rodriguez. "Logical, yes. But these aren't logical phenomena. They're chaotic, unpredictable." Maya's eyes lit up with realization. In warfare, when you can't overcome an enemy's strength directly, you target their supply lines, their command structure. She turned to Science Officer Park. "The anomalies are drawing energy from somewhere to fuel their expansion. Find the source." While the assembly scientists had focused on containing the symptoms, Maya's team hunted for the cause. Within hours, they had traced unusual energy signatures to a seemingly abandoned research facility on a small moon orbiting the Vorn homeworld. "It's still active," Park confirmed. "The experimental drive is running on some kind of automated cycle, generating new ruptures each time it activates." "Can we shut it down remotely?" Maya asked. "Negative. The facility is shielded." Maya nodded decisively. "Then we go in. Prepare a landing team." When Envoy Talex materialized on the bridge to check their progress, he was alarmed by their plan. "This is precisely the kind of aggressive intervention we feared from humans," he objected. "Direct confrontation is not the assembly way." "With respect, Envoy," Maya countered, "sometimes the most peaceful solution requires decisive action. We're not attacking anyone. We're addressing the root cause." Despite the envoy's concerns, Maya led a small team to the facility. The mission was fraught with dangers: unstable gravity wells, radiation spikes, and automated defense systems. Yet her team adapted quickly, using improvised solutions and coordinated tactics that reflected Earth's long history of overcoming obstacles under pressure. When they finally reached the central chamber, they discovered the truth. The experimental drive wasn't merely malfunctioning. It had been deliberately modified to create the spatial anomalies. This wasn't an accident, Maya realized, examining the control systems. This was intentional. Further investigation revealed communications that confirmed their suspicions. A radical faction of the Vorn had engineered the crisis, believing that the resulting devastation would reshape galactic politics to their advantage. When they returned to the horizon with their evidence, even Talex was stunned. "The assembly never considered deliberate sabotage," he admitted. "Our species have lived in harmony for so long that the concept of such calculated destruction is foreign to us." "This is why you need us," Maya said quietly. "Not for our capacity for violence, but for our understanding of it. Our history has taught us to recognize the patterns of conflict, to anticipate threats that peaceful civilizations might never imagine." With the source identified, the Horizon's engineers devised a countermeasure, not to seal the existing rifts, but to create a controlled implosion of the facility that would generate an energy wave precisely calibrated to neutralize the anomalies. As they prepared to implement their solution, a fleet of Vorn vessels suddenly appeared, moving to intercept them. The saboteurs, Maya realized. "They're coming to stop us." For a tense moment, it seemed that combat was inevitable, exactly the scenario the assembly had feared from human involvement. But Maya surprised everyone, including Talex. "Open a channel to the Vorn ships," she ordered. When communication was established, Maya didn't threaten or demand surrender. Instead, she shared the evidence they had discovered, broadcasting it not just to the approaching vessels, but to the entire Vorn civilization and the assembly. "We understand the desire to reshape an imperfect system," she told them. "Earth's history is full of such attempts, but this approach will only bring destruction, not change." The radical faction, exposed and now facing the unified response of their own people and the assembly, ultimately stood down. The Horizon was able to implement their solution, and within hours, the spatial anomalies began to dissipate. In the assembly chamber 2 weeks later, Maya stood before representatives of over 300 spacefaring civilizations. The vast hall was constructed of the same living crystal as the station, with each delegation seated according to their physiological needs and preferences. Envoy Telex addressed the gathering. The human vessel Horizon has demonstrated qualities that many of us had forgotten, or perhaps never knew. Their approach to the Cygnus crisis revealed both the dangers and the benefits of their unique evolutionary path. The assembly leader, a being of pure energy contained within an intricate mechanical shell, moved forward. Captain Chen, your actions have prompted the assembly to reconsider humanity's classification. We now recognize that while the prohibition against the spread of warfare methodologies must remain, humanity itself should not be restricted. Maya bowed slightly. We appreciate that recognition, but I would argue that the prohibition itself needs refinement. A murmur ran through the chamber. The capacity for organized defense is not inherently destructive, Maya continued. The same thinking that allows humans to wage war also enables us to protect, to rescue, to solve problems that others cannot. What matters is not the capability, but how it is employed. You propose that we allow humans to bring their martial thinking into the galaxy, asked a representative from a crystalline species. I propose that you allow humans to bring our problem-solving capabilities into the galaxy, Maya clarified, with appropriate safeguards and oversight. The Cygnus incident proved that threats exist, even in your harmonious community. Pretending otherwise doesn't make you safer. After lengthy deliberation, the Assembly reached a historic decision. The ban on human warfare would remain, but with a crucial modification. Humans would be permitted to establish a specialized division within the Assembly, the Strategic Response Initiative, tasked with anticipating threats and developing contingencies that other species couldn't or wouldn't imagine. You will help us prepare for dangers we hope will never materialize, explained the Assembly leader. Your martial history becomes a shared resource rather than a quarantined liability. As Maya prepared to return to Earth with this momentous agreement, Envoy Telex approached her privately. There is something you should know, Captain, he said, his voice lower than usual. The true reason for the original ban was not merely concern about human aggression. What was it then? Maya asked. Fear, Telex admitted. Not that humans would attack us, but that you would surpass us. Your species adapts and evolves more rapidly under pressure than any we have encountered. Given access to assembly technology and freedom to develop your military thinking, our simulations suggested humans could become the dominant force in the galaxy within a century. Maya considered this revelation carefully. And now? Now we believe partnership is wiser than restriction. By integrating human capabilities rather than isolating them, we all benefit from your strengths while moderating your more problematic tendencies. Maya smiled. In other words, you're keeping your friends close, but your potential enemies closer. Telex's galactic eyes widened. That is a very human perspective, Captain. Yes, Maya agreed. It is, and that's precisely why you need us. As the Horizon departed for Earth, carrying news that would forever change humanity's place in the cosmic order, Maya reflected on the irony. The very qualities that had once made humans feared were now the foundation of their acceptance. The ban on human warfare remained, but in its modified form, it represented not restriction but recognition, acknowledgement that humanity's hard-won wisdom, forged in the crucible of conflict, had finally found its greater purpose among the stars.